Okay, so I wanted to welcome all of you, and I'm very passionate about helping others meet their goals, um, whatever it is in their life that they are looking for. If we have not met, my name is Tiffany Roberts, and I love helping people live their best lives possible because we were meant to live our best lives possible. And I'm motivated to help you achieve better health and wellness by unlocking the secrets behind being happy every day. A little disclaimer, I'm not here to diagnose or, treat any of your diseases. I'm just simply here to help guide you to a happier life. And hopefully at the end of this presentation, it will help guide you in that direction. Let's see, there we go. So what is the definition of happiness? Well, the dictionary defines happiness as the state of being happy. Well, that sounds kind of obvious, but it's ambiguous, right? Other definitions include good fortune, a state of well-being or contentment, pleasurable or satisfying experience. Still, none of these kind of explain what happiness actually is. And the field of psychology describes happiness as an experience of frequent positive emotions such as joy, interest, pride, and infrequent negative emotions such as sadness, anxiety, or anger. Now we're getting a little closer. To get a little more specific, I'll go with the following definition. Happiness is the appreciation of life, moments of pleasure, but overall it has to do with a positive experience of emotions. So let's dig a little deeper. If you had a chance to watch the TED Talk by Dan Gilbert, you'd remember the example he provided comparing happiness levels in lottery winners compared to quadriplegic patients. The results were actually surprising. He found that after 1 year of living with change, both groups leveled out the same level of happiness. This is surprising because we all imagine how much happier we would be if we'd win the lottery, right? It turns out that it's just a trick of the brain actually plays on us. Gilbert talks about studies which found after only 3 months, even major life trauma, with a few exceptions, had no impact on happiness. This is very interesting to consider. Gilbert also explains we are equipped with a non-conscious cognitive process that helps us change our views of the world. Again, let's go a little deeper. The frontal lobe is part of the brain located directly behind the forehead and is responsible for behavior, learning, personality, and voluntary movement. This is the part of the brain that separates humans from other animals. The prefrontal cortex is located in the frontal lobe, and Gilbert explains this part of the brain as an experience simulator that allows us to imagine experiences without actually having them happen. No other animal has this ability. According to Gilbert, the brain generates 2 types of happiness: natural and synthetic. He defines natural happiness as a result of getting something we wanted. The synthetic happiness as what we make when we get what we wanted. What he is saying is that it's possible to create our own happiness. However, our society has strong beliefs that synthetic happiness is inferior to natural happiness. So let's talk about why this is wrong. What we can take away from Gilbert's research is that 1, a happy life is not always about getting what you want. It's about learning to enjoy what you get. Number 2, synthetic happiness is not cheating. yourself into happiness. Natural happiness primarily relies on external factors, whereas synthetic happiness primarily relies on internal factors, such as synthetic happiness can be more long-term, stable form of happiness than the natural happiness. Keep that in mind. And number 4, general happiness in life comes with a relationship between natural happiness and synthetic happiness. So there's chemicals in the brain that are related to happiness. We all know this. So let's review them. Serotonin is considered a happy hormone because it is mood boosting effects. Lack of this hormone is associated with depression. Give yourself a boost of serotonin by focusing on positive memories for things that you're grateful for to produce more serotonin. Number 2, you can get some sunshine. We try to do this as much as possible in our household. When sunlight is absorbed in our skin, vitamin D is produced, which in turn produces our serotonin. And number 3, low intensity exercise, such as going for a walk, actually boost the release of serotonin. The next one is dopamine, and this is the pleasure hormone. It increases our drive to accomplish a goal so that we can experience the pleasure of the reward. So give yourself a boost of dopamine by setting specific measurable goals and achieving them. We always ask our patients, what is your goal? And you need to be specific so that we can actually reach it. This can be as simple as making your bed in the morning, or going to bed at a good time. We always like to try to go to bed in our house by 9:30. Definitely before 10 o'clock, okay? Because that's when the healing starts. Dopamine levels rise with serotonin during exercise. The next one is oxytocin, and this is the love hormone and is released upon physical contact. From childbirth to a hug, oxytocin is there providing feelings of love and trust. So you can actually give yourself a boost of oxytocin by getting a massage. The prolonged physical contact releases oxytocin. Or a hug or cuddle loved ones very, very much often. Hopefully daily. Hopefully you can get that daily. So the ancient Greeks defined happiness as happiness is the joy that we feel when we're striving after our potential. Aristotle said happiness is the state of activity. Eleanor Roosevelt actually said, someone once asked me when I regarded as the 3 most important requirements for happiness. And her answer was a feeling that you have been honest with yourself and those around you, feeling that you have done the best that you could do with your personal life and in your work, and the ability to love others. Michael J. Fox said, my happiness grows in direct proportion to my acceptance and in the universe proportion to my expectations. So how do you define happiness for yourself? Think about that for a little bit. So the director of Harvard Study of Adult Development, Robert Waldinger, shares findings from an ongoing study regarding happiness. This study is 75 years in the making. Wow, that's a long time. Starting in the 1938 with a group of Harvard College students. The study has evolved to include more participants, and every 2 years, a research group conducts interviews, obtains medical records, and completes brain scans. Waldinger states, the clearest message that we get from the 75-year study is that good relationships keeps us happier and healthier, period. The 3 main lessons learned from the study about relationships are, number 1, The more socially connected someone is to family, friends, and community, the happier and healthier they are. People who are isolated suffer from poorer health and are less happy. And number 2, the next lesson learned is regarding the quality of relationship. This one right here is important. Someone can be in a crowd and still be lonely. So the number of friends someone has doesn't really indicate happiness, but having close connections does. The final lesson learned is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies, but they protect our brains too. The study found that participants had others to lean on and continually developed close relationships. These individuals experienced more overall happiness. So we know the importance of having good relationships to being happy, but how do we develop and sustain those relationships? This can be as simple as replacing screen time with face-to-face time with people that you care about or are cultivating a new relationship with. Listen up in a relationship by doing something new. Reestablish date night or start a weekly game night with a group of friends. Reach out to family members that you've lost touch with. Try joining a group that is like-minded individuals. Websites such as meetup.com are a great way of meeting new people. Maybe you want to join a walking group or learn a new skill. Whatever you're interested in, simply type in the subject and find the meetups nearby, because Facebook has a lot of groups available out there. So it's very easy to find a group that has your interest. This one is something that we try to teach our patients, and is gratitude. And it's a great way to foster happier disposition. Robert A. Emmons, PhD, has been coined the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. His research findings show that people who regularly practice gratitude report experiencing more joy, pleasure, optimism, happiness, and higher levels of positive emotions. Emmons emphasizes the importance of making a distinction between feeling grateful and being grateful. According to Emmons, feelings develop from the way that we see the world, the thoughts that we have about the way things are, and the perceptions of the way that we think about things should be. These are all very key. Being grateful, on the other hand, is a choice. Okay? We always tell our patients, even if you've had, a really bad day, at least try to find one thing that you can be happy about that day. That's a choice. Gratitude provides a perspective from which we can view life in its entirety and not be overwhelmed by temporary circumstances. So let's take a look at techniques for becoming more grateful. First, you can start a journal, and all our patients are given journals for gratitude. Set time each day to recall and record moments of gratitude. Reflect on these questions. What have I received from blank? What have I given to blank? What troubles and difficulties have I caused? Number 3, prayers of gratitude are considered in more spiritual traditions as the most powerful form of prayer. Visual reminders are a great way to trigger mindfulness and thoughts of gratitude. Practice the motions, smiling, even when you don't feel like smiling. If you smile, your mood will completely change. Saying thank you, even if someone opened the door for you. Writing letters of gratitude regularly will strengthen the emotion of gratitude. If you haven't, if someone has made an impact in your life, send them a simple handwritten thank you note. Each circumstance offers an opportunity for gratitude. Be creative and look for new situations where you can express your gratitude. So many different ways. Mindfulness is defined as a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness in the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations used in a therapeutic technique. Ultimately, mindfulness is the focus on the here and now. Achieving mindfulness is not easy because it takes practice, because our mind continues to think. We just try to, block it out and try to just be here and now. Research has shown that those who practice mindfulness regularly are happier because their thoughts are not consumed by thoughts of fear for something yet to come, controlling future situations, or analyzing circumstances that have passed. Mindfulness teaches us the ability to center ourselves and develop your inner resources, such as, deep breathing, and this deepens your happiness. Mindfulness can lead to happiness by ending the loop of negative thoughts, helping you connect better with others, deepening your inner contentment, and enhancing the experience of gratitude. So mindfulness doesn't happen automatically. Like we said, it does take some practice. But like I said, with a little practice, we can retrain that brain. So try these exercises to get started. This is called the 5 sense exercise. The goal of mindfulness is to focus on the current moment. This exercise will help you get started, okay? So notice 5 things that you can see. Try focusing on something that you don't normally notice, maybe a shadow or a leaf. Notice 4 things that you can feel and bring awareness to those things that you currently feel, maybe the texture of your clothing or a breeze. Notice 3 things that you hear and listen and mentally note 3 things that you hear. Maybe it's a bird chirping, the hum of a refrigerator. Notice 2 things that you can smell. Try to identify those smells that you maybe wouldn't have normally noticed. And notice 1 thing that you can taste. This can be a sip of your water, your gum, your food, or maybe you're drinking some organo coffee and you're enjoying it in that moment. So once you have you are comfortable with the idea of mindfulness, try this technique to deepen your practice. Number 1, this is another technique, okay? Step 1, turn off automatic pilot by bringing awareness to what you're doing, thinking, and sensing in this moment. Take a moment to settle into the comfortable position and notice the thoughts that come up and acknowledge your feelings, but let them pass. Don't hold on to them. And number 2, bring awareness to your breath. Focus only on the act of breathing and how your body reacts with each breath. For example, how your chest rises and falls, how your belly pushes out or in, how your lungs expand and contract. Find the pattern of your breath and anchor yourself in the present with this awareness. And number 3, expand your awareness outward by noticing the sensations that you're experiencing. Maybe there's some tightness. Maybe you got some aches and pains. Or perhaps a lightness in your face and your shoulders. You can take this step a little further by expanding your awareness even further to the environment around you. Nancy Etkoff is a evolutionary psychologist and instructor of the science of happiness. She is at Harvard Medical School, and her research into the question of happiness exposes surprising results. Her findings reinforce things that we should have known all along, like the fact that having flowers in a house does make us happier. In her TED Talk, Etkoff says, we are wired to pursue happiness, not only to enjoy it, but to want more and more of it. One of the key points in the science of happiness is that happiness and unhappiness is not endpoints of a single continuum. In a study of recovering hospital patients, 2 groups were examined. One group faced a brick wall while another looked out into the trees and nature. The groups who looked out of the brick wall were in the hospital a little longer. I can imagine that. Needing more medication and more medical complications. According to Etkoff, happiness is contagious, and our happiness will have a positive effect on our friends, but also our friends' friends. It kind of, spreads out. So if we can all choose to try to be happy, everyone else around us will be happier. Research is growing on the connection that nature makes us happier and healthier. A 30-day study was conducted that involved people doing something wild every day for 30 consecutive days. Participants were asked to complete a survey at the beginning and the end of the study about their perceived connection to nature and how they interacted with nature and how they felt about their health and happiness. The study showed that there was a scientifically significant increase in people's health, happiness, and connection to nature just by being encouraged to spend time with it. That's why our name at our clinic is Back to Nature. Amazingly, the participants found happiness was even sustained for months following the challenge. One theory, according to the Nature Happiness Link, is that the biophilia hypothesis would suggest that we love nature because we evolved in it. Why does nature make us happier? Well, nature teaches us that there is nothing wrong with us. How many times do we always say that, the connection, you are the answer. Your body was created to be happy and to be healthy. There's nothing wrong. In fact, studies show that people's body image improves by focusing on nature. The diversity found in nature reinforces the beauty in being different. Time slows down. Urgency and deadlines melt away. Ecosystems embody harmony and balance. Quietly witnessing this balance and harmony renews our appreciation. Nature calls you back to reality, allowing you to surrender comfort, control, and reinforces acceptance. As we remove the chaotic noises of society and replace them with the sounds of nature, we can become calmer. Being in nature provides a sense of awe. We realize that there are things at play much larger than us. I'm hoping that you have something to add to that. What about nature makes you happy? We try every single day to at least, even in the rain, we're out playing in the rain. We're in nature. Studies show that lottery winners do not become significantly happier than they were before. Extremely rich people are not significantly happier than others either. Research has found that possessing wealth and material goods does not lead to happiness. Giving them away actually does. And this is another thing that we tell our patients. Clean out your closets. If you're not using it, give it to someone else. You're gifting it to someone else and making space in your own life. Studies show that people who practice volunteering have shown that they have better, psychological, mental health, and increased longevity. Another study has shown that donating money or spending money on experiences rather than material goods is positively correlated with happiness. Maybe going on a vacation with your loved ones instead of buying, a car or something. I don't know. Being more generous, happiness increases with the amount of money that you give to people in need, or by volunteering, or spending more time helping other people. So here are a list of ways that we can give back without, spending money. Volunteer for a cause that you care about. Cook for those in need. Give blood. Become a mentor. Assist seniors in need. Lift a soldier's spirit. We definitely need that. Help build a house. Share your skills. Each person has their own set of skills. Pick up trash around the community. Open the door for somebody. Little things like that. So here's some final tips. Here they're proven techniques to cultivate more happiness. Savor the moment. I have savored the moment being here with you guys. Take control of your time. This is important. If you need to write a schedule, write a schedule. Act happy. A lot of times we have to act it before we are happy. Exercise and make time for sleep. Give time and attention to close relationships. Be mindful. Express gratitude. And give more. So here's my final quote. The key to happiness is knowing that you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. So before we part, share with me how, this quote makes you feel. I hopefully have empowered you and excited you for the ability to choose your happiness. Not everybody has been in a place of continued happiness. I've been there. I wasn't always happy, but one day I chose. And I chose I had to leave the life that was not making me happy and not serving me. And I chose to take that fearful step. And I chose happiness. So I know all of you can. So hopefully this was a good webinar for you. I do want to remind you to tune in live on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, as my husband, Dr. Gabe, will be talking live on Facebook with Jason Christoff about pleasure versus happiness. So it'll be a great one to tune in for. If you all have questions, please let me know. I am here to help you. And, I'm always, my passion is to always be here if you need me. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. I'll see you next time.